Hi all, thanks for joining. In the last session, we had gone through theoretical part of MCP, what was MCP, history and benefits of MCP, architecture of it. In today's session, we will focus more on hands-on on MCP. We'll first go through recap of MCP theoretical part that we um, have gone through in last session. MCP environment setup, then hands-on, quick start on Claude setup. Okay, then MCP server, we will create server, our own servers, our own client, and we will see end-to-end build. Okay. So just to recap, MCP is Model Context Protocol. It was introduced by Anthropic in 2024. It is not a groundbreaking technology as such, but it aligns developers to common standards for better compatibility and widespread adoption. In simple terms, with LLM, how to interact with external services with LLM. Now, currently with LLM, when you chat, but you cannot perform any execute any operations using LLM. Okay, so MCP handles that. It interacts with external resources like database. Okay, your local file system or GitHub project or anything can be done with it. Okay, for example, currently you ask LLM say for a query for something, but you cannot actually execute that query. But with MCP client, you can do that. Okay, a brief on the environment setup. So you will need an any ID, VS Code, Eclipse, Python. Okay, and even you can use Python. We will be doing coding in Python. A client. Some of the clients are Claude. VS Code is a client. IBM Bees is a client. Okay. UV and NPM. UV is a project manager similar to pip. Whatever you can do with pip, you can do with UV. Okay. NPM basically Node.js installation. Okay. Before moving ahead, let me give you a recap on the architecture. Okay. So, you are a user. We have a host, a client, and server. Okay, so to give an example, um, a VS Code is a host. Okay, and in that you have Copilot. That is an MCP client because it can connect to servers. Okay, so that is an analogy that you use and you can relate to. Okay, similarly, a cloud is an MCP client. Okay, and it can connect to multiple servers. Okay, so let's have a demo of cloud. Okay, so let's open Claude. So this is how it looks. Let's now we'll configure server to it. Okay. So let's find a server to configure. Let's go to GitHub model context protocol. So this is the main repo. Okay. Now here let's go to servers. It has a list of multiple servers. Okay, maintained or you can say published by multiple third parties. The good thing is it has official integration like suppose Airbnb or Azure or GCP, okay, or OpenAI or you see Alibaba, Amazon. So you are more inclined to trust if it is released by some authorized person, okay, authorized entity, okay. So you also have community servers here. Community servers are hosted servers that are free to use. Okay, so you don't need any subscription or token to use it. So we will try one of them. Uh, let's try one of this. I have already tried this. Okay, so let's go down. So to use it, we have to just copy this JSON. Okay, so now you see here two JSONs. So below one has ignore robots.txt that we will use when we are going to integrate our server with client using code. Okay, for now we will copy this. Okay, now go to Claude, go to file, go to settings. Okay, go to developer, edit config. So it will point you to a local config file. Okay, open this file, copy paste whatever you have copied from there, save it. Now we need to restart Claude. The one important thing, if you close Claude from here, it is not going to stop actually. It is still running in background. So either you can close it going to your tray or putting it in task manager. Okay, so I have put it. Let me restart Claude. Okay, restarting. Hopefully in the settings section we will see our ANBB configuration. Okay, so to re-verify, let's go to developer tab. We see Airbnb running. Okay, now test it. Let's test it. So you see here tools Airbnb is added and it is on. Okay, you can see the listings also here. Tools available, endpoints. You can search using their endpoint and list using Airbnb endpoint. Okay, it will give you output accordingly. Okay, so let me go back. Let us first disable this and then try to search. Okay, Airbnb in London. Okay, let us see what output it gives. So you see it is searching web right now. Okay, it is not using our tool, Airbnb tool. Okay, and it is giving some popular areas and properties. Okay, so it is generic information. Okay, now let me enable Airbnb. Now let me again fire same query. So you see it is calling Airbnb. Okay, our tool. Now this argument, it has identified its own on its own client. Okay, now you have to allow it because there are some security concerns. Okay, so allow once. So every time it is going to ask you allow once. Okay, or you can allow always also. So you see the arguments itself has derived. Okay, allow once again. So you see the difference in output. Okay, it is not specific because it is using A and B search endpoint provided by your tool. Okay, so you see very specific uh, hotel details with pricing. Okay, great. Okay, so let's move ahead and create our own server. Okay, MCP server actually provide three type of capabilities. One tool that we are going to build, and other are resources and prompts. Resources for external database connections and all. Okay, so MCP server provides a context and executes your request. Okay, based on the context. So let's do a hands-on on it. Let's open a terminal. So to check you have UV installed or not, you can do UV enter. Output will be something like this. So UV is there. You can check also Python is there or not. Python, okay, there. Node, you can check using node -v or npm also -v. Okay, fine. So we are set to start. Okay. So go to your folder, do UV init. It is going to initialize your project by creating some files. Okay. So you see some files are created. Now we will create the environment UV. VVENV. Okay. So virtual environment is created. Okay. Let me activate the environment now. Okay. Great. Now we need to add a package, one more package to environment. So the command is uv add mcp eli. Okay. That is the package that we are using. Okay. So it is installed now. Great. So now let's go ahead and we will create our own MCP server. It is not going to be advanced like Airbnb one, but it will be like hello world sort of MCP server, basics. So we will go to the basics and create our own from scratch. Okay, let me create file .py. Okay, let's import the necessary library from mcp server dot fast mcp import fast mcp. Here you have okay, it's a string, but we want okay, make it mcp equal to. So this name is very important here. Okay, file name is not of much value. Okay, but this is how mcp tool finds our server. Okay, mcp client finds our server. Okay, let's define a basic get weather function. Okay, location. Okay, okay, perfect. So it is a string on itself. Okay, okay, great. So this will do for us. Now, now save it. Okay, right. So one crucial step is we have to define a decorator. Okay, so at the rate mcp dot tool. Okay, this is how client find the server and the required function. So the function name and the description is important. So, okay, it acts as a context to identify the correct function for mcp client. Okay, so now we are going to start it. So let's start it uv run, but it is not going to do anything because we need to. So you can start the server, but nothing happens. The reason why nothing happens is because the server has been initialized, but the server But without an MCP host or client actually activating things in that server, nothing happens. Okay. Okay, fine. But to circumvent to that, we can start use an MCP inspector uh, to test our server. Okay. Okay. It will spin up client and server, and we will be able to see our server. Okay. So it is smart enough to install this package automatically. Okay. Yeah. So it is started and it opened browser also on its own. So this is our MCP server. Okay. So you can check it out, start the server. If it is not connected, you need to connect it. Okay. Great. So it is started, but we need to connect it. And sometime if you get an error, just restart your server. Okay. So you see resource, prompt, tools, okay, tools, list tools. Okay. So you see your tool here. Okay. Now you can query your tool also. To select a tool. Let's say, okay, run tool. Right. So it gave us the output. Okay. So this is a very basic implementation, but it is working. Okay. Great. Okay. So great. Now, now we will learn about an MCP client and do a very quick hello world and example using it. Okay. So, so the point of MCP client is to connect with MCP server. MCP server has the tools, prompts, and resources, and MCP client is basically available to set up the server. But not only start the server, but call the server or tools also. Call prompts, call resources. So whenever you see an application like Claude, VS Code, Copilot connecting to a server, uh, you need to know that MCP client is built into it. Okay, so let's create our client. Let me create client.py. Oh, MCP package has a lot of classes, features. That starts the server, connects to the server, identify the correct tools. A lot of features are there. Okay, so we will see a demo on that. Let me import the necessary files here. We need to define a server params where we will define the commands to run our actual server. Okay. Let's define the server commands here. Command equal to UV, that is a package manager, comma arguments. Yeah, perfect. So it is suggesting it correctly. Okay. Yeah, fine. So now we need to define a function that runs our server. Okay. I will just copy paste the code here. So it is going to be an async function. So I will explain what the function do and what it is required, why it is required. Okay. Yeah, right. So here you are defining your client using that server params. Okay, weather.py using this server file. Okay. Now here you are creating a session. Okay. One more thing. So with you are using because it is used with you know closing the session properly and exiting it. It is not only used here. You might have used with DB connections and all. So when you exit this with block, then your connection is closed. Okay, so like that. So your client is closed. Okay, and session will be closed. Okay, so here you are creating a session. Okay, then you have to initialize the session. So you see async await. So it has to be in async await fashion. Okay, so now in the session, it will list the tools that your server have. Then calling the tool. So we it will show you the get weather, which is our existing tool. We can define more here, but this is basic one. So okay, we will stick with it. Okay, then get weather argument locations. Then we are calling this tool. Okay, and printing the result. Okay, so let me go through it again so you can see more clearly. So pretty basic stuff. Okay, okay, you define your import your lab classes or functions. Okay, now defining the server here, client here, okay, in session here, then listing the tools available, and then calling the tools. Okay, now let us run this. Okay, okay, so let me run this. UV run client.py. Okay, okay, so I think I have not saved the file. Let me save the file, enable autosave also. Okay, wait, so let me rerun this. Yeah, right, so it is working now. Okay, so let us see the output. So it is describing the tools, get weather is tool, description of the tool that helps a client to identify the correct tool to trigger. Okay, okay, location. These are in this is input schema argument to pass. So client automatically do this. Okay, so in Claude you saw key you can type what is the weather in California or Pune or Bangalore. So it will automatically pick up location. Client will automatically pick up location. So if it is LLM, okay, so we will right now time is not there. So but if time permits, later we will do a client implementation with LLM also. Okay, so it picks up the location. So and then it will return the output. Okay, so it is. Let me see here where it is showing the output. Okay, so here it is showing the output. It's hard to put it right now, but you can put an API also call that function. Okay, basically this is a skeleton. Okay, you can call anything here. So if you call a website for watching the location, you want to get the actual weather, that can be done. I think that is easy enough. Okay, so this is the demo. Okay, no, now I'm not going into detail on deep dive on the client and server due to limited time and the end-to-end build. So there's one complex project or case study that can be project, you can say capstone project type of thing can be done on that. Okay, but I think we don't have time. So in future, if multiple people are interested or some relevant POC comes, then I will pick it up. Okay. That's thank you for now. You can ask any questions if you have. Okay.